ايه الاخبار؟ اسمك ايه يا جميل؟ فل. خد البوسه دي، خد البوسه دي.
Breaking the fourth wall was, it really wasn't, it really is in the spirit of Shakespeare, because this is how plays were performed back in Shakespeare's time, up until around the 19th century when electrical lighting was introduced. So when the electrical lighting was introduced, then the fourth wall came up and there was less and less audience interaction because the actors couldn't see the audience.
والله العظيم انت اكيد مش مصري. منين بقى؟ بابا لبناني؟ حبيبي بابا ده والله اموت في لبنان.
And the audience just loved it, and it seems new and exciting, but actually it's just doing what the text suggests, and
Yeah,
and
it
just
really,
bringing the audience into the party.
It really is all inspired by the text, first of all, and how the actors apply the text and convey it on stage through improvisations and through rehearsals.
مش تعرفوا ان انا مش نصاب، قولي اللي قاعده قدامك دي انا مش نصاب. انا مش نصاب.
Of rehearsal, it was to bond the cast as an ensemble, so that people didn't feel like they were the lead, or people didn't feel like they were tiny characters. We wanted everyone to feel like they were a team, and the best way we thought of achieving that was through the movement exercises. The animal and the Laban, what that did was that helped them find flexibility in the characters. It found a way of them coming out with certain lines or certain attitudes that they might not have found if they'd just been reading the script or reading essays about their characters, you know, that scholars had said years before. It's just a way of getting it on its feet and finding new ways into characters that they didn't know before. We wanted them to learn as well as perform the show. We wanted it to be a process where they learned as well.
Nice! Big face! Big face! Small face! Small face, big body!
And I just want you to breathe in.
We thought, let's have everything, like acting, singing, dancing.
Immense singing, that
yeah.
came from something she did in an improvisation we did.
Yeah.
A lot of the ideas are things that we played a lot of improvisation games, and we'd see the actors do things and we would develop it.
It just boils down to the amount of creativity that was ignited in them, and they inspired us as well to just develop whatever they were offering. So a lot of it came from them.
And they were very nervous, I think, at the beginning of the process, because I think the first week we didn't have a script, maybe first half a week, and they were terrified. Where's the script? When are we blocking? And we just were doing all this improvisation game at the beginning. They were very nervous, and now I think in the end product, it's so much their work that they can understand why we did all of that, because once you've learnt the lines, that's fine, and you can tell someone where to stand on a stage, but all the creativity has come from those early rehearsals.
Because they were terrified in the beginning, so they always had a million questions. Oh, where do I stand on stage? How am I? Am I good? Am I this? Am I that? But eventually we'd come and we'd just throw things their way, and you know, on the second night, for example, oh, I had an idea for your character. How about you do that? They do it. They just do it. They just go ahead and do it without asking too many questions. They just know that they're able to.
مثالي بيردد اسم الرب زي ما يكون ماليش غير اني امسك فيه. انا انجبت من قلبي شر جامد وبيعلى مداها على طول. اما شؤون الحكم في البلاد فدرستها زي ما اكون بدرس كتاب جميل ومفيد، لكن من كتر القرايه النص جف ومليت منه. يا سلام على المنصب الرفيع، يا سلام على الرعب اللي بتزرعه في قلب اللي مخدوع بهبة الهدوم والزينة. لكن العاقلين كمان بيتخدعوا بالمنظر المزيف. ويا شهوة، انتي مجرد شهوة. قرن الشيطان عمره ما هيتغير.
And because we had a lot of rehearsals that were happening at the same time with the actors and me here in the Gerhard, and Maria had them in the rehearsal room, so that was quite beneficial, because they would just literally go into a movement session and dancing and connecting the actors together. And then they would come into my rehearsal and they'd be ready and pumped and they'd be bubbling with ideas. So I think that opened up a lot of room for creativity on the actors' parts that I'm able to access it. It's not that I'm unable, but both approaches combined led to a much greater improvement and a much greater capacity to be creative in the actors' minds, bodies, and voices.
الحمار اختصار هتشوكي وحبيبته ضموا بعض وزي البطن لما بتتملي بالاكل على الارض بتتبدر بالبذور فتخرج منها النباتات ضموا بعض. وزي ما البطن بتتملي بالاكل او الارض بتتبدر بالبذور فتخرج منها النباتات. ملك بطن حبيبته كدليل على المجهود اللي بذله كلوديو في الحرث والزرع. المجهود اللي بذله كلوديو في الحرث والزرع.
Definitely save time. I think that was what was great, because Waleed really can teach everything I was teaching, but having the two rehearsal rooms at the same time just meant that really we had an extra long rehearsal process. Exactly. In that we could we both would work together and say, okay, this needs improving, let's both work with certain characters, certain actors, certain scenes at the same time from a different way. So I'd come at it from a movement and voice perspective, and Waleed would come at it from a text perspective, and it just meant that everything was a lot quicker, I think, and exactly. It opened up creativity in the actors that they didn't think they had. And that was the main thing. We wanted the actors to realise how creative they are, how imaginative and how talented, and it's all within them, really. And I think having two rehearsal processes running at the same time as well just kept that going.
وروحنا الحياة السعيدة هتتغسل بأنهار من نار، أو هتسكن في ديار باردة بعيدة مؤلمة معمولة من تل جليد وصل، أو تتحدف بين عواصف ما تتشافش بالعين.
يا خاين، يا قليل المروءة، يا تعيس، يا عديم الشرف، عايز ذنب يجيب لك حياة جديدة؟ انت مش ممكن تكون ابن لامي من ابويا